Hi, I'm Dr. Frank A. Thomas, and I am the director of the very first and the world's only PhD program in African American preaching and sacred rhetoric. And I just finished a marvelous interview that will be released at a later time with Dr. Howard John Wesley, pastor of Alfred Street Baptist Church and a student in the PhD program. And so I am here to announce that we are going to open up the second cohort in the PhD program. On your screen, you will see dates and where you can get the application and but we will have a second cohort that will be starting in the PhD program. Not many people know this, so I've just sprung it on Howard John Wesley, so I want to get your response to hearing that there will now officially be a second cohort.
Excited. I mean, we knew it was coming, didn't know when, to know that we wouldn't be the first and only ones. So the 10 of us are really excited that the program continues on, that this wasn't a one and done experience. And we believe that it's probably even going to be better. You know, you learn as you grow through. So we were the guinea pigs for you all for the second group. You owe us some Thanksgiving. But excited to see new faces on campus and to be able to interact with them and to be able to pass on probably a little bit of wisdom about how to succeed. You know, we kind of jumped in the cold end of the pool and didn't know really what to do. But now we'll be able to tell them, hey, this is the class you got to watch out for, or don't take that too lightly for granted. You know, so be able to pass on some wisdom to our colleagues.
So for people who are trying to discern whether or not they would like to apply for the program, what advice, having gone through this process, what advice would?
Well, I'd say it's probably important to remember that it's not a doctor of ministry. Doctor of ministry has a very specific goal with a project, and it's more based on interaction with live individuals. This is scholarship, and the PhD journey requires a lot of discipline and rigor, especially if you're balancing it with full-time occupation or pastoring. You've got to have the support of your church behind you. You must have support of your church, and you can't simply add this to the resume of your life without something else coming off. The discipline, the hours, we have a saying in our cohort, and you know it, you gotta do the work, and it's real work. So be certain that there's a discerning, a prayer, and a support system, and an ability to make sacrifices and schedule, because something's gonna have to give. You can't get away every other month, and you can't read hundreds of pages a week and not give up something else. So it requires a sacrifice. Yeah.
Would you mind telling us quickly, what are the things you gave up?
So for me, my Mondays changed. Mondays are all library days. I had to give up some board obligations that I had, sitting on various boards. And most importantly, gave up on the road preaching as much. I don't accept outside engagements as much as I used to, because that amount of time I need really to dedicate towards my studies and my writing, as opposed to being in a hotel and being tired and having to get up and write a sermon for home and write a paper for class. It's just too much. It's just too much. So I had to give up a lot of preaching. Yeah.
So I want you to just quickly paint your future. So if you had your ideal at the end of the PhD program, you received a PhD in African American preaching and sacred rhetoric. And so tell me the ideal future for you at some point.
Well, if God were asking me to write it, after the PhD, I would continue to publish. There's some things that I've been exposed to in this program that have created a passion in my heart that would be outside of my dissertation. And the good news is with PhD, you can write what you want to write. The dissertation is what they tell you to write, but then you get to write what you want to write. So there are a few things that I want to write on. I want to write on illustrating in the Black tradition and do some research with some of our great narrative illustrators like Freddie Haynes. I'd love to do something on the relationship between the hooper and the musician, to put that in scholarship, to validate it, to write on my own method of preaching, prescriptive preaching. But ultimately, after a few more years of pastoring, I'd love to kind of sit in a chair like you are, somewhere impacting the next generation of students who are learning preaching, particularly African Americans. So hopefully the Academy will open up, and the PhD is just the key to get you in the door.
And so the second cohort means that we move from a moment to a movement. So we're really excited about this second cohort. You know, check out the information. God bless you. And on behalf of Dr. Howard John Wesley, the pastor of Alfred Street Baptist Church, a student in the PhD program, and Frank Thomas, who is the director of the program, check it out carefully. We'd love to hear from you. God bless you. And I'm excited.
The application is no joke.
And the program starts with the
Yeah,
application.
The program starts with the application. You can't get through the application. You can't make it in the program.
So we see you all.